since the last time we were live, and I'm going to scoot the camera up just a smidgens here. See how we are lined up, and as per usual, or with the last live stream, which was mostly just a test stream, and so that one was maybe, I think it was only about around an hour long, but this one will be kind of the same parameters of you guys can make requests for what engines you want to run on the layout. And since that last video, or live stream actually, we have officially gained 4 new engines from then, since on that test stream I did show off the little Athearn Hustler, but at that time it was not technically released onto the channel. Alright, I'm gonna first, I guess, start out with something a little simpler here, and I'm gonna start running the little Tyco switcher down the track. Make sure that our track actually does have power. And try not to start it on the points, or it'll short out. Alright. Nope, wrong line. So we're gonna set it forward. There we go. A little fast, huh? Alright, we'll just get that. You can actually see in the background there if I adjust the camera angle. There you go. Made some small additions to the layout, just actually maybe a few hours before I started this live stream here, and that was taking some linoleum flooring and cutting some of it up to, actually I'll grab it, it's out of shot here, underneath the cooling tower, but I'll grab it. And so, let's try to get that shot. So I cut some of this linoleum up, and it kind of looks almost like a concrete kind of like surface, and it has that kind of, texture to it. So right now it's just sitting underneath the cooling tower on the layout. Set this back where it goes. It's not glued down yet, obviously, so it's actually curved up a little bit because the shape of the linoleum's not perfectly flat. So let's see if I can try to get some better angles of the little switcher as it comes by here. As it shorts out on all the points. And I do actually have, as you can see, the coaches set out because I'll probably grab those later. And so, or at least that makes it easier for when people put in requests for things like that. Let's re-angle. There we go. And so, let that do a few more laps before it burns out, because I don't want to overheat it in case somebody requests it later. Because, yeah, try not to damage the engines. And I'm gonna get the other switcher up and running just right now. It's something moving, and I'm going to need the conversion card. Looking for, oh, there it is. All right, actually, it'll be running in the same direction right now. There you go. Because the conversion car is at this end, because the little Athearn switcher has knuckle couplers, so if you can see that in shot there. So I'll set that down and get it running. All right. Let's try to see if we can set off this switcher moving forward. There we go. And it is off. Oh, and it left half of the string behind. All right. There we go. Now I got both the switchers running around and causing mayhem. Or it just derails out. Okay, I have no idea what's going on with the switcher right now, but it does not want to carry the Monsanto cars. And so I'm going to stop it before it rams into these. So I'm just going to take these off right now. these trains are kind of half set up from filming another running session, some other stuff, but oh, they left more cars out of shot. I'll go pick those up in a second here. And so I mixed a few of the cars up, but then some of them didn't actually have any problems when I'm shooting a running session video or anything else like that. Let's see if this goes off maybe a little bit better now. There we go, it's kind of rocketing off now. You can see it in the background. Oh, okay. Both of these switchers do not do the best over some of the different switches, which is interesting because they're, they are switchers, but they perform poorly over some of those switches. So I'm gonna put away the 2 cars that came undone earlier. And gonna stop the Atherin one again because it uncoupled, which is fun before it rams into the hoppers over here. I don't know what's going on with that. Drive out of there. Fun. All right. Okay. The horn hook has meshed with the knuckle coupler, and that's always fun. Well, it's one of the joys of being live. Everything is here for you guys to see. So what is going on with... So, take the switcher off for a second. But I'm just going to investigate here. What's going on with the Rock Island car, because they just occasionally come undone, so that's what happens. The Rock Island coupler is quite a bit higher up than the other one, than the red hopper, and so they just come undone. Throw it around this way, it'll probably do better. So I'm going to put the switcher on the reverse way now, so that it hopefully is not uncoupling the train continuously. And check that up. There we go. Alright, now it's hooked up. And I'm going to throw the Virginian hopper on the back and see if I can try to get this acting more proper. There we go, it's off. A little more juice on the after inside. One. There we go. It's gonna come ripping by. Alright, now I'm gonna give probably the Tyco switcher right now. Okay, never mind. I'm gonna stop the Tyco switcher right now because Deer Riddle's train has been run for around 10 minutes now. Don't wanna overheat it right now. A little toasty if you feel it. So I'm gonna set this one back in place. Oop, they're coming off the tracks. Alright. Just make sure that the Athearn one's doing alright. Okay, now I'm just gonna note that out of the selection of engines, there are 2 dummies that just are hidden here, so then these 2 will probably just run as a set, and then this U-boat here, it's just a Tyco one, just, let me look at it. Some of its wires are a little broken, and my finger can't spin the plastic wheel on the axle, meaning, so it's cracked, so I have to fix that up a little bit, but yeah. And I have taken the weight out of this one, just because, I don't know, I was originally going to have it be planned to be in a running session, but then I realized it's going to be a little more troublesome. And so if you guys have any suggestions on what engine to run next, I am open to your suggestions, or I can just pick one at will, or we can just let the little Athearn one just keep going by. Oops, sorry if I moved the camera. So you have any of Yi engines in front of here, and we just have this little one running right now, but it's 2 tracks here, so you can just run 2 at a time. Second one to the left. Okay, so we're starting out with one of our larger engines here. Set over here. Let's try to get on the tracks over here. Hope. Try to see if I can get all the wheels on the track here. Oop, the pilot's not on. I'm gonna give the little switcher a few more laps, and I'm gonna pull it off. But okay. Track. It's a little particular. I don't know if I have to run this one on the inner line or the outer line, because its coupler's a little funky right back on the tender. There. All right, now see if we can get the steam engine off. It's all coupled up. Okay, send it forward. See if it's wanting to run today. There we go. Let's try to give it a little more power. I am going to stop this guy here. I'm going to stop the outer line. Let this guy rest a little bit because he's been running for around 10 minutes now. And the steam engine has derailed, out of shot. Try to get back on track here. Alright, there we go. There's some panning shot. There you go. Back out. Maybe get it going a little faster. This is probably the safest I can run it at, or the fastest I can safely run this engine at. Because this one has a tendency for, when I'm shooting a running session or even in the review, not the review video, that the restoration has a tendency to derail. So that can be sometimes a pain to deal with. And so I'm going to slow her down here. Because over time it just likes to slowly accelerate, so it can become pretty loud in the room. And point proven. All right, I'm stopping it. It is derailed itself. The front leading wheels have derailed. And so I am going to fix that right now quickly. Okay, should be back on the track, and it also uncoupled from the rest of its train. There you go. Okay, you are all coupled up, so let's see if we can try to set it off again here. There we go. All right. And fun. All right, I'm gonna pull this engine off the tracks because it does not want to apparently run today. And that's just kind of how this engine is. It seems like some days it wants to run, some days it just wants to get caught and derail and uncouple the train. Take this guy off. And I'll set her back. Set it back in. Pull it back in the line. There we go. And something also interesting that happens when running the steam engine here is sometimes it'll run just fine and its headlight will be on since it has a headlight in the front, but then sometimes it'll just cut out and then decide that it just doesn't want to run. And so if you guys have suggestions for what next engine you want to run, I am all ears. Or I'll just throw an engine on. But yeah, it's interesting how this one's headlight just turns on and off, and it's just, unpredictable. And so that makes filming some of these videos a little fun because you'll have it run one shot and the light will be on and then it'll cut off halfway through and you're like, all right, time to redo that. And I think, this one has a tendency to uncouple from the rest of its train. This Burlington boxcar, its couplers are very sprung compared to some of the other horn hook couplers, so it likes to come undone a lot. Set it back down. There we go. All right, so now I'm actually gonna, which one do I want? I'm going to, start off with this Milwaukee Road one here and see if this one is up to running. And so I'll actually, I'll prepare its train to run on the outer line. So I gotta actually pull some of these cars back. So I'm actually going to get the passenger coaches to run along with it. See if I can do some switching. There you go. All right, now I'll get this F unit onto the tracks with the dummy unit to go along with it. As well as I'm going to grab the coaches that are just on a shot here. Oop, you are. There. Oop, wheel came out of this one. It's always interesting with this one bogie, the wheel just likes to come out sometimes. 2 more coaches, and then we can get this train off on the rails. There we go. Last one. Let's just dash out here. Try to straighten out the camera. Okay, let's get it to roll by slowly if it wants to cooperate. There we go. So you can see the baggage car, the dining car, which is in the middle here, the regular passenger car, and then we have a end observation coach at the rear here. And so now I'm going to set these guys off a little bit quicker. Go. Let's try. And you can see it in the background. All right, gotta get a little more accurate passenger speed here. Oops, I accidentally banged the train together. Zoom in again. Sorry if the camera's a little herky-jerky. And we'll just let this run around, do a few laps. Oop, this one came. I'm done. Let's see if I can couple these two together. And just right in front of you guys there. And while we're at it, I am going to hook up the other set of passenger cars I have, so try to do this as simply as possible. So I'm going to get these freight cars out of the way. And those are my Santa Fe heavyweight coaches. And I'm going to have the other U-boat pull that set. So I'll set that on the track for now. There we go. It's a little hard to get some of the freight cars off the track. We have a passenger train going by. With those guys. Those guys. There we go. Right now I only have 2 Santa Fe coaches, so let's set these down here. And one of them is a baggage coach, and then one of them is a regular passenger coach. And so these ones are River Rossi coaches, and they actually have lights on the inside. So if I can get it all hooked up. There we go. Okay, let's end off this inline train. Forwards. There we go. All right, now we have both passenger trains running. And this U-boat locomotive is an Athearn one, and so it's quite speedy. So interesting thing is it'll be pretty slow for the first, I don't know, up till about 30% power, and then once you hit 40%, it'll start rocketing off. And so it's kind of interesting how it's just missing those certain sets of speed and those certain like almost gears in the middle. Kind of almost like the transmission's missing it only has like first and second gear, but it doesn't have like fifth or sixth. So then it's, yeah, interesting. And so if you guys have any other requests to run, what to run next, I'm open. We'll probably be taking off the outer line here, which is the Milwaukee engine. It's coming by now. The Santa Fe one should be, yeah, roaring by here in just a second. Yeah. This thing really does go like 0 to 60, because if I try to stop it, it'll just, at least it does slow down fairly moderately, but this thing still accelerates pretty quickly. And when you get up to the higher speeds, I think you should be able to slightly see the lights on the inside. I don't know if you can see it on the, not on the engine itself, but on the passenger coaches. So it's, maybe it's just very faint. Yeah, there you go. You can see it kind of flickering as it's going over the points. I am not looking forward to, but planning on getting maybe some different coaches. There's maybe some different like railroads or their brands of coaches, because since I only have 2 companies, there's only a select things I can do. I can obviously, if I wanted to, run a Union Pacific train with the Milwaukee stuff, since the Union Pacific did buy them, and maybe a few years ago, definitely a few years ago, like it's the 70s or the 80s, I believe. Slow down the Santa Fe one a little bit. It's raring by, so I don't know how easily you guys are going to be hearing me, or if I just have to, shut into the phone. Now it's really crawling along. All right, I'm going to give the Milwaukee one maybe a few more laps, and then I'm going to swap it out. So if you guys have a suggestion, I'm open to that. We have obviously plenty of different weird, funky engines to run today. I guess also another video that is in the works, or if I haven't started talking about videos that are, going to be worked on soon, is another one of the videos with food trains, or like food themed trains. And so that'll be the third one, especially now considering, snag it in the back here. It's a little hidden, but you couldn't see the livery or the paint scheme back there. But yeah, with the Campbell Soup engine, I feel it's a little fitting to have a new one of the Fun with Food Train videos. And so that'll probably be coming out maybe soon, relatively soon. I don't know how. Still in the planning stages of that next one. But if you guys have any video ideas, I'm open to that, as long as they're not like, obviously within reason. Can't be like, oh, spend $5,000 to get something. I'm like, whatever. I could actually. I should have done that with the other. I was running the other Santa Fe locomotive earlier, and that is should have put the Santa Fe caboose on behind it, since I forgot to do that. And so now I'm gonna actually pull off the Milwaukee engine, and it's set here. And if you guys have suggestions for a different kind of train you want to run, I'm open to that. Since this one's coming off, this will still take me plenty of time to change out the dummy units and the coaches. So that'll give you guys plenty of time to suggest anything. We got the whole sweep of engines here to suggest. The wheels came off the Milwaukee coach again, so I thought I broke it, but it's just the wheels came off. Oh, hey. Bogey came out of the regular passenger coach. It's always interesting how these things are fit in. I never looked into this on the video I did for these, but they're just friction fitted in to their spot. And there's the axle in the way, so it's kind of hard to friction fit them all the way in. But yeah. Another thing that happened with these coaches recently is with it was the heavyweight video I did on these coaches and the ones that you see running right now, is that this coupling here, right before I was about to shoot the video, it snapped off. And so I'm like, oh, I pick up the coaches and I realize that this one's broken off, and I'm like, I already had the Santa Fe engine set up on the tracks and everything, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna go shoot this video now, gotta get the car set out, and then I find this, I'm like, I'll let this drive for another 30 minutes or so, just to get that done. And so that was what I did actually before that video, because that video came out, it was either, I don't, in relation to this, I think it came out Friday, I think is the relation. But so that is something I had to spend and waste about 30 minutes on. And so that was fun and interesting. And I guess this is another reason to watch these live streams, or if you're in the future or whatnot, is because I most of the time don't share this stuff just openly, or you might find it in a fail reel video, but with the coupler breaking off or something, a story like that, I probably won't just share with anything. So I plan on leaving most of these live streams up on the channel just as, extra videos. And so that's the plan with those, and I like interacting with, the audience here. And so pick out a new engine here. Is that that's a little mark on the grass mat. One of the bad things about these grass mats is they get scuffed up a little bit. That is just a piece of actual dead grass over here. I don't know if you guys could even see that, but sorry, I had to burp there. But I think the next one I'm gonna run is, what should I run? I think I'm gonna let's just do another F unit here. And so this one's our Bachmann F unit, and we're gonna get this guy set up with a freight train, and then it'll be on its way, and then I'll pull off the Santa Fe one that should be coming in maybe in 20 seconds or so, since it's been running for quite some time now. Ooh, I guess also now's the prime time to show off the special flat car in a live stream. That'd be funny if the ballistic missile flat car just falls over during a live stream. So I'm gonna get that one out of the cubby that I made. I have a video on this cubby, so I don't know if I can pull it up into shot here since it's pretty heavy, since it's made out of walnut wood. But it works well. Works well for its intended purpose of holding a lot of cars. It's just I've gained so many cars now for rolling stock that I probably could honestly make a second one of those storage shelves, and then I'd probably be better off. And now I can run the Union Pacific caboose, which is just a shot here. And so I'm going to try to get some more freight cars for this train to haul. as we just had the Santa Fe one in the background. I'm also open for suggestions for replacing the Santa Fe engine, but taking out one of these. And there we go. We're about set up with the Union Pacific train. There we go. Set up now, and I'm gonna get that on its way. And I'm gonna stop the Santa Fe here, since it's been running for, I don't know, I get 10 minutes almost. And so I'm going to take this one off. So if you guys have suggestions for which engine I should run next out of the group we have here, I'm open for that. Actually, I'm about to set this one in the storage shelf I have without even thinking about it. And this Bachmann engine's quite a squealer as it comes by here. I guess there is something I could show off later with some of the cars or flatbeds that I have. That's doing some train drifting if I wanted to. Next one. So we brought all those ones. I think let's go back to a steam engine here, and I'm gonna choose the second largest steam engine. I about set it on the outer line. That would have been a big mistake. And so this one also needs now a freight train for itself. I gotta make sure I put the wheels on the correct way so that this guy doesn't short out. More recently, this engine's been acting a lot better. So I want to make sure I have it on the track right. One of its tender wheels are not on. It's kind of hard to see when you have a freight train going right in front of you. Alright, I think it's on. Let's just check. Yeah, okay, it's on. And so let's get this guy a train. And I'm just going to set some Tyco cars. Probably just some small Tyco box cars or other miscellaneous things. There we go. We're just gonna start out. The nice thing about this uncompleted Varney engine is that its tender's unpainted, so you can kind of belong to any railroad. So it can be either from the Virginian or what other railroad you want to put with it. And so I'm just gonna throw some small wood-sided box cars on behind this engine. I think I'm going to snag maybe two more, and then I'm going to throw on a caboose. 1, 2. It's good. Since this engine, this Varney engine is not the strongest, and so this will be good. Since all of these box cars that you're about to see and the hopper all are plastic, so I don't think any of them have any metal on them. Even the Rigorossi one I have here close to the end. But throw the caboose on. And let's see if we can pull this much. I guess I haven't tested how much this guy can pull it after I fully restored it. Not fully, but not cosmetically restored, internally restored. Alright, and it is off. So let's try to see if we can get some shots of it moving here without bumping and screwing up the camera here. Ah, there it is. No wonder it stopped. And just a second. You just cut out, so I'll send it your way. You guys can see it soon. Or it should just stop in front of the camera. That's fun. Okay. And that is a warning from the engine itself telling me to take off some of its cars, and so that's what I'm going to do now, since it's just and so I'm going to stop in front of you guys. Sometimes these engines actually do need a literal warm-up, before they can start, acting proper. And so we'll take off the last two boxcars here. I think 4 cars should be sufficient enough. And so I'm going to try to get the train around to the other side of it. Alright, almost there. Okay, and we're hooked up, so let's see if it wants to run. Now let's had, I guess, a little bit of a warm-up now, and it's only hauling 4 40-foot cars and boost. It's not that much. This engine has plenty of torque in it. Okay. Didn't even have to push it. It started back up again itself. There we go. All right. Yeah, same problem twice. Oh, that's what happened. That's probably why. There we go. There, now it's in. Actually, what I am going to do now is I'm actually going to move this to the outer line where it's going to run better. This engine does not run the greatest on the inner line. And so I'm going to stop the F unit here. And this went too far. Alright. Just a little bit of a hand switching here. Let's see if we can send the steam engine down the track. Alright. Should keep, okay, there's power in both lines, it should keep going. Alright, what's up? Oh, there, okay. I think this engine's needing some cleaning on the inside now. Just gonna make that inference because it's stopping every 6 inches. And actually, still send it forward. See if it's wanting to run now. Alright. That's enjoyable. So I am going to pull that steam engine now, I think. Because it is, not up to want to run. And I think we can let this F unit. Actually, the F unit's going to sit on the inner line here for a second. Because, I changed my mind, it's going to sit on that siding for a second because I think it's, over here and over here. Gotta get uncoupled. And what I was talking about earlier with, or about, some of my 6-wheeled bogey things, cars, is I think I can do it here. I can. You gotta throw a switch in between. There, the switch. There. All right. Can successfully jackknife these cars, and I've not actually tried it with any other cars. But I'm gonna leave you with that lovely visual here as I take off the steam locomotive. And I don't know how long this live stream is gonna be. Obviously, you guys in the future are gonna know. So I might cut it here just an hour, or I might continue. bit longer, but we still have 5 engines we haven't ran yet. So if you guys want to pick one, you're open to it. And I took these boxcars into the wrong area. These Tyco boxcars kind of have their own special area in my sorting system. I can't do air quotes right now, but that's kind of what I'm alluding to. All right. The hopper is coming off. And I'm going to place the steam engine back in its spot. Here we go. I'm trying. I think I can do it with this. Thinking about other cars that I can jackknife. Or I can only do it so tight with this one. Yeah, I can only go to about. Let's get these guys out of the way. Only go to about. Let me get the first set of wheels on. About here, jackknife wise. So I can't get a full diagonal like I can with the other ones. But it's worth a shot. With the cabooses, or caboose, whichever one you want to use. If my tracks were right next to each other the entire time, they would be able to, because I think. There. And there we go, it's hit it. Once you get it past this, actually, on the other line. Love how this live stream has devolved into this. So get it to about here. There we go. And so at this point, this is entirely stable on the rails, but yeah, that's not kind of what you want to aim for in real life. And if I didn't have the siding in the distance, if I'll zoom in on that siding, it'll show up in resolution right behind the tractor and its red trailer that are knocking over a telephone pole. There's a switch back there, and so I have to sign over. If my tracks stayed together for most of this, they would be able to. It's gonna knock over that sign again, I think. Okay, or not. But these guys would be able to hang next to each other, or swivel your ballistic missile. But let's get that off the tracks, and let's get back to what we're intending to do here, and that is running some actual trains and not messing around with ballistic missiles. And so, if you guys want to put your suggestions in for the next engine you want to run, open for that. Still have a freight train sitting on the lines here, and I need to assemble another one on the other track. And so, set the fuel tanker and over here on the side. And I think right now what I want to do, or at least what the next thing I'll just choose, because we have two lines, so if you guys put in a suggestion I can go on the other track, is I'm going to run, I think just the GP20, the Tyco one here. I guess it's elusively rare, so I'm just going to throw this one on the track right now. Not pro, but figure of speech wise. And so, I actually forgot how heavy this one is. Since I took the weight out of the Tyco U-boat in the background here, this one's pretty lightweight compared to this one that still has its weight in it. And so we're going to send this guy down the line in the kind of opposite direction of what it should do, actually. But this one runs nice and at a moderate pace. There we go. Before I had the channel, I did informally restore this engine, and so it's running a lot nicer than it did from when I first got it. And that's kind of when I learned about its rareness, air quotes. And so that was an interesting thing, because it ran for me for a while, and then one of its motor wires just broke, and so I had to resolder it onto the motor plate so it still touched the brushes. And so this is one of the earlier Tyco engines, so it's before the Power Torque era. And so it runs real smooth, real nice. I think it's, I don't know if it's a 3 or a 5 pole motor, but it runs smoothly, it runs slowly and within control. And I just need to do some little bit of work on this Santa Fe engine. And that'll probably be just another restoration video I can probably do, but I just got to get the right equipment for that, because this one's a little more particular in some of its brokenness, as I stated earlier in the live stream. And I'm going to let this guy go by, and then in another lap I'm going to see how slow we can try to get it to run. Also, I'm going to take off the Union Pacific caboose, since I don't think it actually, needs that caboose, considering it's from the Illinois Central. Oop. And so I'm going to set that back in the siding over here where I have my cabooses in a line. I can get them on the track properly. It's also nicer how this engine is quite a bit quieter. But now that we're coming in, see if I can slow it down here. Oop, kind of came to a sudden halt. But try to see how slow we can get it to move. It's humming. One thing I've always wondered is how well the humming is coming over on camera, because I've noticed that in the past and I haven't actually heard it while replaying or watching the replay. And it kind of does actually just lurch into a speed, but it's a fairly moderate speed, so it's not terribly bad. So the power is that at? No. It's about less than 30%, so it's around 25% power, and that's the speed it moves at. So it's not bad for what it is. Zoomed in on it. Moves pretty slowly, pretty smoothly. Oop, that's not what I wanted to do. I pressed something on the screen here and it was going weird. Alright. I think what's the next one we haven't ran? I think let's do, I didn't run it earlier, so I'm going to run it now, and that is the Santa Fe the other Santa Fe switcher I have. And this one's just an 060. And interestingly enough, if you watch the video on it, you would find out, or if you have one of these models yourself, is in this particular case, this one you can kind of just run without its tender. I'll grab the tender in a second. Just realized I put that on the outside line. Let's see if we can. And so it's interesting how it runs without its tender. It's gonna stop on that point, but it has a dummy coupler in the front, so it doesn't technically couple up with anything in the front. I've never tested that technically, so I guess that's what next step is. We'll grab the tender and let's see if it actually hooks up to anything. I'm actually gonna turn the engine around. Wow, that tender rolled a lot farther than I thought it would. Very interesting drawbar setup going on. Actually, I need it this way. And so I'm going to grab a knuckle coupler card here. And so I think what I'm going to just use right now is this New York Central boxcar, or boxcar stock car technically, live stock. And I don't think it will couple up, but if I can get this stock car on the track right, the test, yeah, it couples it up. Get an overhead view. No, this front coupler is way too low down to the ground to do anything properly, but I think what I'm actually going to try next is this tanker, because that dummy coupler in the front is very, very small, so maybe it's actually accurate scale-wise, and this scale trains coupler, if it'll focus here, is very small also. So I don't know if this will work any better, but we'll get an overhead view in a second. Take this stock car off. All right. No, it's just pushing it over to the... Does it? Oh, no, it doesn't actually still. It doesn't couple up in the traditional way. I think actually if I... There. Alright, that's funny. So I got the dummy coupler to work, I think. I just had to lift it up and set it into the scale trains coupler. And let's actually see if that works. So I'm going to back it up here. Yeah, it does work, which that is very interesting how that works in that sense. Yeah. There. Alright, let's try to see if I can send it off for a lap. You should see it maybe in the background, so let's try to zoom in on that. But oh, never mind, it lost it. It lost it around the curve. So I'm going to zoom out then, and I'm going to stop the image in just a second. There we go. Banged it back pretty far, but so the horn hook at this end obviously doesn't couple up with the scale trains coupler. But so it kind of half and half works wise with that coupler. Yeah, I'll pick up this. So I'll put this in front of you guys so you can probably see it better than from the farther distance here. And so let's see how close I can get this to her. All right, so the couplers are different shapes. Just had to lay it over. And since it wouldn't normally catch in the normal way, to lay it in on top, as you see here. And right now they are coupled in that sense, but then they come undone very easily if there's any elevation change or anything like that. So I'm going to set this guy back in its sighting where it was normally presiding. And I'm actually going to get this engine a normal train to run with. And I think after I get this steam engine a normal train to run with, I think we'll pull off the GP20 and then we can maybe run a different engine in the back here. One that probably hasn't been ran yet. Oop, it's off the tracks entirely. Okay, they've got a train here. Since I've been changing out trains so many times, going from passenger to freight, passenger to freight, whatever works. I'll put the big tanker and the missile on for now, because those guys are close by. And so there's a Charlie on the front, yep, and then I can throw on the Santa Fe caboose finally. Since I did put it on with the passenger train earlier, or with the switcher earlier. And so I think everything's coupled up, so let's send that off in the forwards direction. There we go. And it is off. And so now we're going to stop the GP20. And now you can hear how much of a squealer that Bachmann engine is. Man, that's pretty loud. At least on my side of this. Compared to what you guys are hearing, I don't know what it would sound like. Send this guy back in the middle, as well as the other Bachmann. Oop. peacefulness. It's finally quiet. All right, so we have the GG1 left, and it's just this Campbell soup engine left. And so I'm just gonna put the Campbells on, so then we can probably end with the GG1. And hi, are you making healthy noises? No, you do not sound like you're making healthy noises. I'm going to. Oh, that happened again. I don't know what is up with this engine in that sense, but occasionally, every once in a while, it will. There we go. Literally, its gear will seize. I have it freed open right now, but that is a problem I discovered after I restored it, and I think it happened maybe once beforehand, but I thought it was just a one-off experience. So, yeah, okay. It's wanting to run again. Now it's locked up again. So I found, there we go. Sometimes when it gets locked up, it's something I found in this case is you just throw the engine in reverse, and it normally frees up and fixes that problem itself. Obviously, I don't think that's a good thing for the long run. And actually, since I'm getting the Campbell engine out, might as well get the Campbell's soup boxcar out. Put that to run behind the other engine. So we got some Campbell's condensed soup. And there we go. And so the F unit itself is a lifelike F unit. Meanwhile, the boxcar is a Tyco boxcar. So when I got this F unit, I'm pretty sure it was brand new in that case. But after I got this Tyco car, I think if I can uncouple it, there we go. On the other side, it had some damage done to the cam bells. So most of the time I run it this way to the camera, so it looks better on camera, because that's just damage showing the white underbelly or under paint or plastic itself. And so I'm going to start out with the cam bells here, and then get the squealer off and moving. A little more, maybe. Okay. There. Okay. It's slowly speeding up on its own at the speed I have it at. And so then let's set off the squealer. Let's see if it's wanting to run now. Yeah. Is forward wanting to work right now? Yeah. Forward is not wanting to work right now. But rear, backwards is. And so, what's just going on with that? Alright, this guy's stopping, so I don't want to get him burnt out. So let's send that off. So I'm going to set the 060 off to the sides because for my sanity and yours, I do not want to hear that squealing all over and over again. And so I'm just going to set it back in its place, and then we can actually just get the engine dude not actually ran yet. Let's call out something. Okay. I guess the lifelike engine only picks up on a few wheels. So it's very interesting how it only picks up power from the rear truck. So it's very interesting when it's just decides to stop on the points that I shot here, they're just it's coming by again. All right, now just gonna reorganize this train and take off the Santa Fe caboose since we're not running Santa Fe anymore. And I feel like most engines from that era, if you can, obviously tell the abrupt stop that it has sometimes, could benefit a lot from using a flywheel. And so that's probably one of the larger issues with them. We have versions already. Hi. Wowza. Okay. I only slowed that engine down on its own. It started speeding up very quickly. So I have no idea what was going on with that. But I'm going to get our final train set up for this running session. Just coming tearing by here. Yeah, it is just wanting to speed up incredibly fast. And so our last train today will be the GG1. And I guess this one kind of has the same strangeness that the U-boat has, where after a certain speed it wants to rocket, but then once you slow it down to a certain point, it just crawls and then slows down. Because now it's just moving real slow. Yeah, that's interesting. Well, while it is, I've cut the power because it stopped itself over just at a shot here. Actually, I'll zoom in. There you go. It's just over there by the Arc de I can't pronounce the French properly, but the Arc de Triomphe, as I almost spit on the camera here. But it stopped over there by itself somehow. But that's a perfect segue into getting the big old GG1 onto the rails. And it's always fun to set up all the wheels onto the track. There we go. And I'm going to throw on the royal blue caboose. GG1 will be pulling a fairly easy train today compared to what it normally pulls, which are big, heavy, almost every car I can put behind it. And so I'm going to pull this train back so we can proceed. See the GG1, make sure all of its wheels are properly on the track. And now we can set it off. And I'll try to see if I can get the cam bells to cooperate. And the GG1 is off. Can't move the camera right now because I'm manning both controllers just in case something happens. Because once the cam bells one finally gets back in shot, I'm just gonna have it be done for the day. I always feel it's a little interesting what kind of shenanigans or engines acting up happen only on a live stream compared to when I go to, shoot a running session. This always acts normal. All these engines always act normal, but I feel like it's something with this live stream here that's just wanted to be different. So we'll. Also, since it was stopping so abruptly, the logs came to a point where they just slid so far forward onto the car, because if you, let's do a little example here, if you, gotta do it a lot more aggressively. There you go. They slide Obviously, that's how inertia works. But I don't. Ah, darn. Oh, one thing I was gonna try to do. I was gonna try to see what happened. It's gonna be a little inner demon here, but pour the logs, you know, on to the other track the other way. But I probably don't want to do that with my only, as far as I know, only new engine. The Campbell Soup engine was fairly new in the box, fairly untouched, but I don't know actually how used it was in its previous life, because all of its traction tires are still, you know, well intact. And I guess those are some of the things I didn't note on in the video. And I have to sneeze here in a second. Sorry about that. Alright. But let's try to see if we can get some better shots of the GG1 moving, and then I might wrap up the live stream just after that. So let's zoom in here. Yeah, I gotta clear my throat there. GG1 going past the beef jerky sticks, or at least that's what some people have told me, that these look like beef jerky if you only see them from not obviously the top side. You know, that would actually be a fun thing to do for a fun with food trains video of actually putting actual beef jerky, you know, onto that flatbed there. But it is going to be nice probably to shoot one of those videos soon. I think I might actually go into planning one of those out now. It's been maybe a few months since I've done those, and those seem to, at least it seems like you guys enjoy those and I enjoy those. So let's get back to shooting camera shots here. Wait for it to come by again, and I can. Actually, I'm gonna fix the station here since it's been moved quite a bit. It's a lot easier to shoot one train than to shoot two trains like I was earlier. And, all right, let's zoom out again. And so, probably gonna wrap up this live stream within maybe the next 2 minutes or so. Had a lot of fun doing this live stream. Seems like you guys have enjoyed it. And it's just nice to get some of the other engines that aren't always running, or actually I pointed that one runs quite a bit. But like the Varney or something, getting it actually moving every once in a while, since sometimes, obviously I run trains by my own and not always for videos, but there you go. Sometimes it's just nice to get like all of the F units moving instead of, I haven't pointed to them, all the F units moving compared to sometimes like I'll shoot like maybe a running session with this twice and maybe this once, but then I've never shot a running session with the Campbell's one. So it's always nice to keep them up and moving so they stay in good shape. And it's also nice to get all the different kinds of rolling stock. And it almost seems like there are themes going on with the rolling stock, not themes in the typical sense, but like eras to rolling stock. Because, sorry, I'm getting away from the mic here, but you know, from a lot of the earlier videos, this wood chip hopper is in nearly every running session. Well, compared to now, it's not in that many running sessions. And so it's just interesting how that era kind of plays out, or how that all works here. And I'm going to give that engine one more lap. And so then we can close up this live stream then. And so coming in across. And let's see if I can literally park this engine shot. And boom, stop nice and slowly. I'd like to thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.